Hey everybody, what's happening? Son of a Silver Stacker here. In today's numismatic news and information for the 18th day of April, 2021, I'm going to take you over here to JMBullion. Spot prices haven't opened up yet, but when they do, you can join Salivate Metal at about 5 or 6 o'clock Eastern time. Check that out. It's kind of fun. Now, we're going to take you over here to the Google machine, and I looked up China and gold. There's a big story out of China 4 days ago and 24 minutes ago, depending on which article you read. First one I'm going to take you to is exclusive. China opens its borders to billions of dollars of gold imports. And this is from Swati, Zhao, Peter, Swati, and Zhao. China has given domestic and international bankers permission to import large amounts of gold into the country. 5 sources familiar with the matter said. Well, maybe that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess that's the 5. Potentially helping to support global prices after months of decline, and that's gold prices. China is the world's biggest gold consumer, gobbling up hundreds of tons of the precious metals worth tens of billions of dollars each year. But its imports plunged as the coronavirus spread and local demand dried up. With China's economy rebounding strongly since the second half of last year, demand for gold jewelry, bars, and coins has recovered, driving domestic prices above the global benchmark rates, spot price, and making it profitable to import bullion. And you can read more about that here. I'll post the link in the article or in the description below. The local premium is now about $7 to $9 an ounce, according to gold traders in Asia, and would probably have increased further if more imports to satisfy demand had not been allowed. About 150 tons of gold worth $8.5 billion at current prices is likely to be shipped following the green light from Beijing. 4 sources said. Now, they have already bought this gold. They had to have not announced this and then went and got the gold, right? Because that would be foolish. 4 sources said that. Now, 2 said the gold would be shipped in April, and 2 said it would arrive over April and May. So there's a little bit of difference in when it's going to be delivered, but it will be delivered. That's the point. The bulk of China's gold imports typically comes from Australia, South Africa, and Switzerland. The People's Bank of China, the country's central bank, controls how much gold enters the country through a system of quotas given to commercial banks. It usually allows metal in, but sometimes restricts flows. And that would probably be inflows and outflows, I imagine both. We had no quotas for a while. Now we're getting them. The most since 2019, said a source at one of the banks moving gold into China. The PBOC did not respond to a request for comment. The size of the shipment signals China's dramatic return to the global bullion market. Since February 2020, the country has an average imported gold worth about $600 million a month, or roughly 10 tons of the shiny metal. Chinese customs data show. So that's really cool. They're really pumping it up out there right now. It says here in 2019, its imports ran at about 3.5 billion a month, or roughly 75 tons. That's a tremendous amount. So they're going to do 8.5 billion. So that could be what, maybe 3 months, 2.5 months worth of gold. China's absence made the little difference to the gold prices early in the pandemic when Western investors, fearful of economic catastrophe, stockpiled vast amounts of the safe haven asset, pushing it to a record high of $2,072.50 an ounce. But the investor interest drifted away as vaccines and government stimulus programs revived economic growth, and gold prices have sagged to around $1,750 an ounce. And they really haven't sagged much further than that. And I think they're at $1,780 or $1,790 right now. We're hovering around $1,800. So we're getting close to this again. And I would imagine with India and China both getting back in the game, we'll probably see this because, honestly, the bullion here in the United States demand is still huge. And you can see that through the mint numbers as well as other private gold dealers. Now, it says here, India's demand for bullion has also rebounded from a pandemic-induced slump, with record-breaking imports in March of 160 tons of gold, an Indian government source told Reuters this month. You can read more there at that link. China and India typically account for some 2/5 of the world's annual demand for gold. So if there was 5 people hanging out, one was Indian with his gold, the other was Chinese with his gold, and there was 3 other people talking about gold. That's how influential this these two markets are. That's just huge. Their recovery is critical in setting the floor for gold and should stop prices from falling further over the coming months, said Suki Cooper, an analyst at Standard Chartered. Jewelry sales in China during the Lunar New Year holiday in February were stronger than in 2019 and 2020, and manufacturers and retailers needed to replenish their stocks, said Philip Clapwick at Precious Metals Insights, a consultancy in Hong Kong. A pretty decent recovery in gold demand this year will require a generally much higher level of gold imports than 2020, he said. So there it is. That's the article. Everybody's getting in on the gold game again, and looks like they're back in, really, I think. And they probably purchased these millions and billions of dollars worth of gold already. I don't believe they would tell you that they're going to go ahead and do this and then go buy the gold. That's just not prudent because it would send the gold price up a lot more, I would imagine. So there it is, folks. Gold is definitely going to be hoarded a lot more now than ever, because if you think about it, many countries are importing gold at an enormous rate. I mean, it's just incredible right now. And now that India and China are back online in the buying game, the demand for the yellow metal is going to go bonkers, I would imagine. So here it is. I mean, the writing's on the wall. Everybody wants it. Everybody needs it. And they're afraid that if they can't get it, they'll be caught holding paper, so to speak, blowing in the wind. We don't want that, do we? No, sirree. Anyway, listen, folks, I want to thank you all for watching. Thanks for dropping by. Don't forget to hit that like button. And if you do like what you hear and see, subscribe to the channel. It's free. Son of a Silver Stacker, out.